There's I kind of want to just I got that documentary, the incident at Oglala, and I'm trying to just sort of soak in as much as I can about this case. The you're a survivor, right? You're a survivor of the.
Yeah, I'm in the beginning. My last name used to be Bordeaux.
Oh.
So I'm in the very beginning of the incident at Oglala.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's it reminds me of like the shootout at the OK Corral. I just been calling it the shootout at the Jumping Bull Ranch. And so you were a survivor of this. This is the shootout that's going to kill Joseph Stuntz. It's going to kill the 2 FBI agents, and then it's going to put Leonard Peltier in prison for 50 years. And you were there. You witnessed it.
Yeah. There's several of us there.
How many would you say were there? Native Americans?
Oh, well, it's located on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. Oglala is a community on that reservation.
Would have been about 50, 100?
In the very beginning, the FBI is supposed to be able to go on the reservation for 10 top crimes. They were there that day, so they say, serving warrants for somebody that stole somebody's cowboy boots.
Right, Jimmy Eagle. It was Jimmy Eagle. They were looking for Jimmy Eagle. And Jimmy Eagle was nowhere to be found, and later on we're going to dismiss Jimmy Eagle's charges, so it wasn't even really that big of a deal to press forward with it.
Yeah, he wasn't there, that's why.
Well, it's weird that they're looking for one guy and then ended up shooting and killing another guy, and then this whole shootout actually happening.
Yeah, because they were in undercover vehicles and unmarked clothes.
What do you remember what clothes they were wearing? Because a lot of times the FBI likes to wear like those business suits, all black.
No, they were just, I don't know. I didn't notice that. Actually, I was down in the camp when they first came.
Well, I guess let's just start from the top. Can you just tell me as much as you want to tell me about what happened that day, June 26, 1975?
It was just basically a regular day, and we were cooking and we were camping because the grandma lived up on top of the hill. So not to really impose on them, we had a camp and a sweat lodge down by the trees. So that's where we were. And I don't know about what happened up on top when the agents came. I just know what I heard in court because I was down in the bottom. And as soon as we heard the gunshots and people went up toward that way with their rifles. You know, we have like deer rifles, you know. I think we had a couple of AK-4, not AK-4s, AR-15s. You know, nothing real, you know, fancy. But basically, the reason why Peltier and others were there, the older guys, were for security because, one, there was what they call the reign of terror when people were being shot at because they were affiliated or American Indian movement supporters or members.
Yeah, I've heard about that. There's something about the goons, and then there's aims, and there's kind of the traditionalists versus the new age aim, I guess.
The tribal, you see, it all kind of started in Wounded Knee, 1973, when Dick Wilson, who was the president of the tribe, hated anybody that was traditional or connected to the AIM movement. So when that takeover happened, the United States government brought in their military and gave automatic weapons and stuff like that to Dick Wilson and his goon squads.
Wow.
That's the reason why they took a lot of people in for the Wounded Knee occupation into jail, but none of them really had to go to face charges because the United States is not supposed to use the military against their own citizens, right?
Yeah, it almost seems like they flooded the reservation with all these assault rifles.
Yeah. So then, within that last 2 years of the reign of terror, where they had over 60 people that were connected to AIM or AIM sympathizers, as they put it, that were killed and no investigation had happened, that's when the people asked for security.
Wow, 60 you said?
Whenever they would pray in the sweat lodge or they'd have ceremonies or get-togethers, the goon squads would come shoot at them. And that's not the only reason they'd shoot at them, just because they were supporters of AIM. They were targets.
So I was wanting to focus on June 26, 1975, because at noon these agents are going to get shot, and then also Joseph Stuntz had got killed too. So you said in the morning it was a regular day. You're cooking, you're camping. It was basically just a regular day. And then what happened? What was the first, I guess, commotion?
I just heard the shooting, the gunshots, and basically we took off trying to get out of there.
How many gunshots did you hear?
Lots. They used over 35 rounds of ammunition that day. It came out later. I mean, we didn't count them, but there was a lot.
Well,
it came out in the report.
They did.
The lawyers.
They make a big deal about how many bullet holes was in the agent's car, but then didn't Sitting Bull's house, didn't his house get riddled with a bunch of bullets too?
Jumping Bull.
Jumping Bull, right. Jumping Bull. My bad.
Yeah. They destroyed the grandma and grandpa's home. Yeah. They didn't mention the 35,000 rounds of ammunition that was used. That came out in later years.
Wow.
Bullet holes, but yeah.
So that
Nobody knew who they were because the whole climate on the reservation was, you were targets if you're AIM, and that's why they were there protecting, actually that Banks lived there and he was going to court from there too, and so they were security, just making sure that no one got attacked.
I don't see how you could tell if a person was, a government agent if they're plain clothes, plain car. They don't. Sometimes on the TV they'll have like that little red light that they'll just pull out, just one little red light.
No, they didn't have none of that. They were just no one knew who they were.
Right.
It could have been the goon squad.
Could have just been white trash thugs, criminals who just want to rob people. You have no idea who they could have been. If somebody's stalking me and creeping on me and just keeps driving everywhere I'm driving, they're clearly bothering you. So.
Yeah.
And then.
Anyway, that's the part that I was in. Is like whenever we escaped, we ran into Leonard and the other guys when they were getting out of there too. So whatever happened up there, I really don't know, except for what I heard in court, which I don't remember the details, but it's all it's somewhere, the transcripts whenever Dino Butler and Bob Robidoux.
Yeah.
Admitted, and they talked about all that.
Well, I actually read that Robert Robidoux had said that he was Mr. X and that he had shot him. He was the one, he took the either blame or credit for it.
Well, he was already acquitted.
Right.
When he made that video, yeah.
And it can't be.
I think Mr. X was David Hill.
Really?
Who was a known undercover FBI informer.
Interesting.
He infiltrated the American Indian movement similar to Douglas Durham.
Well, COINTELPRO, they did, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and Dave Hill's still around. There's
Wow.
just a lot of questionable things he's been involved in and never ever had to answer for.
So then you think Robert Robidoux is just kind of talking bluster?
Well, I don't know about claiming to be Mr. X unless he was coming for covering for
Right.
Dave Hill because
Right.
there was no reason for him to do that. But the only thing that they did is they created another scenario where Leonard's appeal that was in Washington D.C. became moot because there's another player, which don't make sense. So now they're charging him with aiding and abetting. I don't know how they did that either. They convicted him of murder. They changed it to aiding and abetting because there was no evidence. It's all circumstantial.
They changed it. They changed it on Leonard or somebody.
On Leonard.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
The sentence has been changed to a different name.
Well, that I guess that seems more believable because I heard Leonard Peltier just looked right in the camera and said he didn't kill the people, and then he also said he didn't give the order to kill them. And so when I just think about that logically, that means that he didn't execute them, he didn't do the kill shots, But he was up there, right? When he was up there in the car with two other people, Joseph Stuntz and Norman Charles. Is that correct? Or you wouldn't have seen it?
Sure. Like I said,
You didn't see it, right? Well,
so,
yeah.
If you read that from the transcript, then I guess so.
Well, how about this?
That was a long time ago.
Can you remember who shot first? Did you remember anybody talking about it?
No, I don't.
Okay, no, that's all right. The Joseph Stuntz.
All I know is that
Yeah.
Dino and Bob were acquitted for self-defense. They
Right.
were attacked by the FBI.
Right.
Now that makes sense that everybody in this camp should actually have the same theory. We were attacked and we acted in self-defense.
Right.
Since those two were acquitted on the basis of self-defense. And that would even include Leonard Peltier. So it's kind of moot who really shot him.
Well, I think that's actually a brilliant argument, just saying how unfair the case or the trial in Fargo, North Dakota, when Leonard Peltier had to go to trial, because I heard that judge was a Nixon-appointed judge. His name is, I got it somewhere around here, but he had
Bouncing Benson.
Paul
The
Benson.
kangaroo court.
The bouncing Benson. Right. And he didn't allow that the reign of terror wasn't allowed to be talked about, so you can't talk about the dangerous conditions that they were under. And he also didn't allow the self-defense instructions that said you're allowed to defend yourself. That comes from the God, natural law, Constitution.
Well, no, it's a constitutional right, but also he would not allow Myrtle Porter to testify for the defense, even though her affidavits were used in a Canadian court to a foreign government to extradite Leonard Peltier back.
Right. Is Poor Bear still around?
I don't think so. I think she's gone.
Oh.
But she was threatened with death and her children being taken away, is what she said later.
Wow.
So she even came to the Fargo trial to be a defense witness, and the Bouncing Benson would not allow it, said it didn't pertain to Peltier.
That's so crazy.
The main reason why Canada actually extradited.
Right. The Sixth Amendment says that you have a right to subpoena all the witnesses and anybody who has any documents, any of the eyewitnesses, anybody who's got documents. She is totally a relevant person for the case if you're trying to figure out, get to the bottom of it.
And another weird thing is that the Canadian government sealed the Canadian extradition hearing documents for 40 years or something like that, 40 or 50 years, 40, and they're available now. I don't know why they were sealed.
Interesting. I know I'm kind of a nerd myself. I might pour over those documents and see what's going on.
Yeah, if you ever hear of them, send me a copy. I think you need a lawyer to get them from Canada, that's what I heard.
Yeah, they're kind of still under the yoke of the British monarch.
Yeah, so I don't know.
No, that's good. It's good talk. I'm enjoying all this. Did you know Joseph Stuntz?
Oh yeah, I was there with him.
What? You were there with him? What do you mean?
He was at the camp.
Oh, okay. The at the camp, he does he have wife or kids?
No, he didn't.
What kind of?
He did somewhere else, but I mean, they were just there, him and Norman Charles. That
What?
was his brother-in-law, I think.
What kind of man would you say Joseph Stuntz was?
Helpful, happy, smiling, easygoing. Very personable.
Yeah. Do you remember any stories or anecdotes about him?
No, I just basically know he was always helpful. He was Dennis Banks's bodyguard when he went to court in Custer, but for some reason he didn't go that day.
Interesting, because I feel like that's another hypocrisy, that's another inconsistency. So if two FBI agents is shot, then we're going to get a murder trial on their behalf, but Joseph Stuntz can be killed and murdered and nobody even asks a question and he doesn't get a murder trial?
Definitely did not investigate his death. It's just ironic.
I read that the Justice Department had actually said that it was a law enforcement sniper, which it was the FBI that was around. So I put, one and one together, and it sounds like it was the FBI that had killed Joseph Stuntz.
Them or the BIA, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Well, they take so many notes, and they're usually pretty meticulous with their notes. You would think that they probably know in their internal documents who pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I think it was BIA, which is under the federal government.
Right. What about there's a couple other names. Jimmy Eagle. Is he still kicking? Is he still alive?
No, I don't think so.
What about the Long Visitor? Do you know Mrs. Long Visitor?
Ibis is still alive. Ibis Long Visitor?
You were Long Visitor?
No. Ibis is still alive.
Idis. Okay, good. The Robert Robidoux, is he still alive? Robert Robidoux? Bob Robidoux?
He's gone.
Then what about Dino Butler?
Hang on.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't put my phone that fast. Sorry. He was on loud.
That's all right.
Okay, now what was the question?
Dino Butler? Do you know if he's still kicking?
Oh yeah, he lives in Oregon somewhere.
Oh, very cool. Norman Charles?
I heard he is too. I haven't talked to him. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Were you able to get to the Fargo, North Dakota trial?
Yeah.
What all did you see? I mean, you know a lot of stuff to this. You were calling him Bouncing Benson, so you didn't like the judge in that outfit.
No, he was real. You could tell he's racist.
And
Like he had all these rules for his.
he's probably biased too, and probably the cops could do no wrong and had it one-sided, very asymmetrical, just like the U.S. government's been doing the Native Americans since the beginning.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks that Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce, he tried to get away from the authorities and he came so close to Canada and didn't make it, and then he said he'll fight never again. But Leonard Peltier actually made it to Canada. And then they cheated with the extradition, and it looks like they cheated at the trial. And then, he might have been part of the general melee of the thing. But I know for sure that the government doesn't know for sure who shot the Jack and Ronald. They don't know. You were right there, and you don't know who shot Jack and Ronald, right? And so if you were an eyewitness and you're right there and you didn't know, and the two FBI agents who were there were shot and killed, that means they don't know. They only got speculation.
Yeah, so circumstantial.
Right.
Even for Peltier's trial was circumstantial. There's no witnesses. They tried to use they used murder program because the Canadian government required an eyewitness.
And so they had to threaten her in order to get the false affidavits.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Typical but crazy.
Just the extent that people would go to just to nab somebody. Simon Gertie
They're still doing that.
with the
It's the FBI vendetta, like in the books, The
Right.
FBI family. That's the way they always, label it when they want, when they want support or whatever.
that sounds more mafioso than it does professional government officials.
Yep, and that's the way their letter was that they wrote to the parole board. It's on the FBI site. We have a rebuttal. There's a lot of bullshit on there.
Yeah. Man, I'm real disappointed about it because it said that the parole hearing, he's supposed to have a status hearing in 2 years from now, and then if that goes well, then in 12 years, he's going to be up for parole again.
Something like that. Yeah, he probably won't make it that long.
He was saying that it seems like they're slowly killing him in jail.
Yeah, they gave him a death sentence. They didn't really give him, you know. What I mean is like, it's gonna kill him being in there.
Yeah.
Sit down, Kobe. Sit down.
Is the FBI still on the Pine Ridge Reservation messing around and stalking people?
Right now it's a different deal. You know, it's a different time period and different issues. It's not like the Goon AIM days the way back.
Right.
Like they're down there, but they're down there fighting drugs. You know.
Yeah.
And the tribal president, he's a 100% supporter of Leonard Peltier's freedom.
Nice.
So things have changed. Almost every tribe sent a letter into the parole board asking for Leonard to be free, like tribal chairman, you know, stuff like that. They have a lot of support all over the world wide, but they still don't listen. And I don't even know what they're telling the agent's family because, you know, they rile them all up and tell them lies, you know, whatever. They feel like, I don't know what was said, but I read the letter and it's just the same old bullshit, you know?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous because it's like they could be merciful. There's Manson. One of the Manson murderers got out. They're free, so you could actually have committed it in cold blood, served your time, and still got out.
Well, according to old law, that's what he was, you know, in 1976, he was sentenced, and that was what they call old law. You changed it, but under that, a life sentence, I think, was like 11 years, and he's done that, you know?
Right.
Yeah, 2 consecutive life sentences.
There was something in two.
Either way, he should have, like, been out, even though he served a sentence that wasn't his. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. He did his time, so even if... There was that parole, there was 2009, they had asked Leonard Peltier to... They were going to give him his freedom, but he just had to say guilty. He just had to say, you know, one word. And I don't think there's anybody in the world who would have understood his situation, and if he had to say the thing just to get himself out. But I feel like there's no way a person's ego is that ginormous that they would stay in jail and, you know, say something that they didn't do. I believe him. I believe him. When he looked at the camera, I saw when he was being interviewed by somebody, it was an older footage when he was a lot younger, but he looked right in the camera, stared right at it, and said that he didn't give the order and he didn't execute the 2. And I believe him. I believe him. So...
Yeah, for sure.
There was
you know, I read the letter, and I'm not trying to be mean, but they talk about 2 agents compared to Wounded Knee 1890 when 300 men, women, and children were killed. And they gave the 7th Cavalry medals of honor, which they still have. They've never rescinded them. And then you count all the people they kill on the streets because of their skin color. You know, 2 agents ain't nothing compared to all the shit they done.
Yeah, well, I kind of think of Palestine and Israel and Palestine right now. They went in. There was one mission where the Israelis they claimed that they saved 4 hostages, but they killed 250 Palestinians. It's very asymmetrical. That's what I would say it is. It's just even Custer or Kit Carson. I heard Kit Carson in his early days when he's riding around with John Fremont up in Oregon. He came across like some Klamath Native Americans, and he called it a great butchering. Because apparently they just killed dozens and dozens of brown bodies, brown souls, brown people, and that's just a turkey shoot. That's just a fun night in the town.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the history of the thing, I feel so much for the oppressed. Not only have white people, white supremacists, however you want to put it, the U.S. Military has been killing willy-nilly. But then there's also all the agreements. 95% of everything that the Native Americans has ever signed for the federal government. The treaties.
The same laws of land is supposed to be ultimate. That's according to their law.
Right. So we, instead of doing integration and just, bringing the brown man into white society, or how exactly you want to say it, instead of doing integration, we said, okay, you live on this land and then get off the land that you was on now. And then we being Americans, just kind of will find oil, or we'll just keep on chipping a little piece here, a little piece there. And then eventually it's almost like we kind of keep doing the same thing and just making the area smaller and smaller. And it's either respect that there's a nation within a nation. When it comes to the Native Americans, we got to treat, I think, Native Americans differently. I think you're kind of like your own country inside of our country.
Definitely, sovereign nation.
Right.
The Lakota Nation, we just celebrated on June 25th, which we call Victory Day, because in 1890, they attacked, Custer attacked the Sundance camp of several different tribes coming together to pray in the Sundance, right?
Wow.
Sundance camp. They have a habit of doing that, just taking advantage. But he was so arrogant that he thought he could go kill a bunch of Indians and go back to Washington and become president, right?
Right.
But instead, he met up with the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho, and they showed him different. We took their flag from them. We have that flag somewhere.
You got the flag, you said?
Yeah, somebody here in this Lakota Nation has that flag somewhere.
Good. Because the tactics. I hated just the general tactics. Custer was going to take the Native American women and children and then force the men to bend to their will. And he probably did that before. But people have a breaking point. And I remember the rallying cry for the Custer's last stand was, today's a good day to die. And so he thought there was only going to be 1,000 or 2,000 of Native Americans around the bend, and he wound up being outnumbered 10-1, and God was coming to him. He got his comeuppance.
Yeah, and the rumor is, among us, is that the women killed him.
Well, oh yeah, there was I saw a picture. Do you know her name? You wouldn't remember her name?
No, I don't know exactly, but that's just how it's being told.
No, I saw a picture recently, and they said, I forgot her name, and they said that she was the one that actually ended up killing Custer. So that's just desserts. That's justice. That's just desserts. He wanted to kidnap the women and children, thinking he could just use them as hostages, as political pawns, and he ended up getting killed by a woman.
Exactly.
So what do you think? I guess I don't know. Just in general, to close on a high note, what do you think is the solution for, I guess, Leonard Peltier and just Native Americans and white America in general?
So first of all, we need to respect our own law.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real simple. We don't want to ask for no extra special treatment. All we want is justice and respect your own laws.
Right.
If you respect your own laws, then Leonard Peltier would not be in there.
Right.
I mean, every time they change it, like after the shootout, they went and did several legal searches looking for, people that were responsible or whatever they want to call it.
Right, but without a warrant.
Yeah, so it's okay for them to do that to us, but when we respond, then it's always a different story.
It's they're breaking the 4th Amendment, the 6th Amendment, they're breaking the 5th Amendment, they're breaking a bunch of these amendments.
Also, the United Nations also said that there's a report that came out 2 years ago about arbitrary prison. I mean, they sent him for one thing, but actually they're going to make sure that he dies from it.
Right, they sent somebody to try to kill him? Is that what you're talking about?
No, well, they've done that too, really.
Yeah.
But, see, they sent him for whatever, the murders of the 2 FBI agents, but in reality, he's going to die from, he already surpassed that time that he's supposed to be in there for the, when he was sentenced, the law then.
Right.
But now they're keeping him in there, so they're actually gave him a death sentence.
If you read the preamble,
It's the 18th or 13th Amendment. I gotta look that
Yeah, no, cruel and unusual is the 8th Amendment. No cruel and unusual punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we're breaking the 8th Amendment, the 6th Amendment, the 4th Amendment. Even the preamble, the very first sentence defines the point of what the U.S. government is even supposed to do, and there's promoting the general welfare, domestic tranquility, and 4 other things, but establishing justice is one of the 6 end objects of American government, and it seems like we're establishing injustice. We're not doing anything with Joseph Stuntz. We don't have a murder trial with him. We just kind of picked Leonard Peltier because he was just somebody who happened to be around. We don't even know for sure if he's the actual trigger man. We're establishing injustice, and we're establishing over and over and over again. Oh, you're right. America needs to respect. We need to listen to our own laws when it comes to the Native American. Yeah, just the. Well, I guess the last question was about Native Americans in general and Leonard Peltier. What do you want me to do with Leonard Peltier? Just kind of keep talking about it and keep asking questions and.
Yeah, well, we're pushing for clemency, but that's to Biden.
Right.
The president makes that decision, and like you said, and what I've noticed is that the way they treat Palestine, I don't know.
Well, since 1977, he's been in there, and how many presidents is that? That's since Carter. So that means every president since Carter has denied him clemency. So.
That's pushing that.
So we got to put like a public pressure campaign, direct action. You want me to just get him out? You want me to just drive over to Coleman, Florida, and just break him out? Come on, Leonard. We're sick of that. I saw that. Well, I'll let you go. But there's this movie where the mother just goes into jail and says, "Give me back my son," and she just kept yelling at it until eventually she got her son back. I haven't heard of it.
Statement on how the FBI uses Leonard Peltier's case as a classic example when they get trained to be FBI agents.
Wow.
Yeah, she just came out that a couple years ago too. Her, Colleen Raleigh, we have James Reynolds. We have a website that I try to maintain. It's called whoisleonardpeltier.info. Oh, .info.
Leonard Peltier.
We have some documents on there, but we've been hacked a couple times.
Well, keep up the good fight. I appreciate you all being out here.
Check it out. Some of those transcripts used to be on there.
I'll keep on reading and I'll keep on talking about it, and I appreciate your time tonight.
I'm really interested in, we have a lot of documents that shows the COINTELPRO. You know what that is?
No, what is that?
That's a government program that they use against different civil rights groups.
Yeah, the Black Panthers. They went after the
Movement, yeah.
Fred Hampton too.
The Honeywell workers. There's a lot of people that. But anyway, that's what they use on Leonard, and there's documentation on that.
They killed Fred Hampton when he was sleeping.
God.
Well, not to be too depressing. So I appreciate you letting me talk to you, and if I come up with some more questions, I'll give you a call.
Yeah, let me know if you're ready to publish something, okay?
I definitely will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. That's very cool. I'm going to publish this video so you can hear the raw conversation. I took some notes. It kind of helps me to listen and focus. And I'm going to listen to it again myself and just kind of see what she had. In the very beginning, I didn't hit the record button, and she was talking about how there's a difference between clemency and parole. Parole is by the parole board, which is just 2 people. There's only 2 people on the parole board. They're getting all these letters and all this, pressure from all these different people, and it's just 2 people. And then clemency is just 1 person. It's the president can give a pardon. And so that's all we got now. I was hoping Joe Biden, who, looks like he's about demented, and he's also a right-wing conservative, so he was Strom Thurmond's best friend. And with Palestine, the genocide happening in there, it doesn't look very promising for Leonard Peltier. He's getting old. His health is ailing. She didn't really see it. She was a survivor of the shootout. She didn't really see it because she was down the hill. And she said that it happened above the hill. But she said some interesting things about how she had heard the gunshots and how she had ran away and how she was a part of it. She was at the Pine Ridge. She was at the Jumping Bull Ranch. That was exciting. That was a great conversation. That was Jeanne Roach. She said her name was formerly something, not Robidou, but it was like a French name. Jeanne Bordeaux. So Jeanne Roach used to be Jeanne Bordeaux. And she just, talked to me about 30 minutes for some random questions that I had generated regarding Leonard Peltier. Trying to get more views on this thing in order to get Leonard Peltier some justice. Even if he had committed the murders, the maximum sentence at the time, the average sentence is 11, maximum sentence is 30 or 40 years, and yet he's still, behind bars. As an innocent man. Aiding and abetting, so he was just part of the melee. Well, other people were part of the melee, and then the two people that, they already got acquitted. I've already talked about all this, so I guess just thank you again to Jeanne Roach. Thank you again, Jeanne Roach, for talking to me and helping me to articulate this case, because there's a lot of moving parts in it, but essentially it seems like it's pretty simple, cut and dry. Leonard Peltier, did he kill those two guys? Without a doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt. Is it 100% beyond a reasonable doubt? Not even the government believes that. Not even the government believes for a fact Leonard Peltier actually killed those two folks. The government doesn't know who killed those two folks. She was at the scene, and she didn't know for sure. So, free Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier.